What things do you want to see before Kaiju number 8 ends?
You don't know how to use your power. Let me show you.
What's up, y'all? We back at it with another video, and this is for Kaiju number 8. We got 2 more chapters left. One of them drops tomorrow, and honestly, I gotta be real for you guys. I don't think it's enough time to finish everything. I feel like there's going to be a lot of stuff that's going to be skipped in these last 2 chapters, because think about every chapter of Kaiju number 8. Even the chapters with heavy dialogue still go by so fast, so there's no way they can cover everything in just 2 more chapters. I feel like we need at least 5 more chapters to wrap up everything, because there's so many questions we need answers to. As you see on the screen right here, this is one of the main things I want to know. I want to know about Kaiju number 3, Kaiju number 5, Kaiju number 7. Those are the 3 kaijus they have yet to mention in the entire series. And for them to end the series without us having any type of mentioning of those kaijus, I feel like that's something that I'm gonna be upset about. I'm gonna be like, yo, is there an armor piece for it? Like, unless they say like the rail gun that Mina was using was part of one of these kaijus, I'm gonna be pretty upset if we don't actually get to see these kaijus in action. Also, when it comes to number 9, we know he was defeated in chapter 1, was it 112? We get a little bit of his backstory, but I feel like we deserve a little bit more of his backstory. What led him to do the things that he did? We know he was curious and he had a thirst for knowledge, so that led him on this path. But I really want to know, how long was it before he, like, since he met, I guess, the ancient kaiju, before he started making his moves in the real world? I want to know that. Also, I want to know where that, ancient kaiju actually came from. They never really gave us a definition. They just said like, oh, it was around and it fought and went on a rampage for 100 days. It never really told us how it came to be. So I would love to learn that, and I don't feel like we got enough time for that to actually happen. I want to know if there's other kaijus like that in the world, because I feel like it'd be kind of weird if this ancient kaiju is the only one of its kind. I feel like that would be very strange. As well as number 9. Number 9 is a kaiju that showed intelligence. You're telling me he's the only kaiju of this caliber of this level of intelligence? Come on, there's got to be more of them out there. I'm not saying, that we should have I am saying it, fuck it. Yo, they need to leave it where it can be room for a part 2, where we still feel satisfied as fans, but at the same time, it's still room for them to do a part 2 if necessary, because I feel like that's something that's left up in the air as well. Far as like, if there's any other kaijus out there, we know there's more threats, because we remember number 9 said it. He was like, far as on the surface, I am the strongest kaiju out there. Now, some could look at it where he was referring to his body, as in the surface of his body, he's the one in control, and he might be talking about that inner kaiju within him as the, beneath the surface. That's possible. I can see how some people might say that might be what he was going for. But nah, man, him saying that line, I feel like he was referring to other kaijus out there in the world. And I don't know. I just feel like we need more answers, man. We definitely need more answers. Also, something I don't think they're going to be able to do in just 2 chapters, but I want them to explain, where do kaiju come from? We see that the kaiju that, fused with Kafka was a combination of hundreds and hundreds of men, Saru, that, formed up into this insect kaiju. Is that how all kaijus are formed? I mean, we need the answers. Like, did a whole bunch of people throughout the century become kaiju because they were, overwhelmed with sorrow, and for whatever reason they became different type of kaijus? Is that the case? If not, what made these people so different that they were able to form into a kaiju? Like, I want to know, man. I need answers. They didn't really tell us. They just said like, yo, all of us, we got slaughtered that day. All of our sorrow built up into this one little spot, and then we became like this insect. That's all they really say. And I believe that was around chapter 15 or 16, 115, 116. So I really want to know that. There's so many answers. Will people rank up? Will your boy Reno become a captain? I'm pretty sure he will, but I need to know before the series ends. what will happen to Kafka? Will he actually turn back to human? I feel like that's something they're going to actually show us. But I feel like with us only having 2 chapters, we're not going to get a good answer. I feel like they're going to have it where, oh, he's back human, but they're not going to really explain what it took for him to get back human. And if that's the case, I feel like it could make the series kind of fall short. Now, don't get me wrong. To me, I feel like this series is pretty damn great. Honestly, I give it like an 8 out of 10. One of my favorite series to read on a bi-weekly basis. But if they don't take the time to flush out everything, I feel like these last 2 chapters could ruin the whole entire read. Well, not the whole entire read, but it could ruin the ending of the series, because I can't let it take away from the the enjoyment I had up to this point. And to be honest with y'all, with the series ending, I think some people online were saying this battle was too long and drawn out. The battle against number 9, and I feel like the reason it was, to me, I don't think it was too long, but I could see why some people would say that. And I feel like the reason maybe it was because the author needed to make enough chapters to finish the final volume. Like, it was like, well, this will make this volume short, man. You got to do a couple more chapters. Like, all right, I see what I could do. I mean, I feel like that's probably the main reason why. But are we going to have any more story from the general? Like, is the general going to make a last appearance? Because if you look at chapter 112, when Kafka was facing off against number 9, he made a reappearance. His face popped up on number 9's face, well, at least his eye did, showing that he had some type of control, and he gave that opening for Kafka to strike the core of number 9 before he turned into the ancient kaiju. So I wonder if we're going to get a little bit of talk from the general. This is just some things I want to see, and at the same time, I feel like we might not get to see all this stuff, man. Like I said, I want to know what happens with Reno, what happens with Mina. Does Mina confess her love for Kafka? What happens with Kikaru? Does she feel satisfied with number 9 being defeated, even though her father's gone? What happens with Gin? Like, I would have loved to have seen Hoshina brother in action. We just find out that all we found out about his brother was that his brother's a captain. His brother know how to utilize guns as well as swords, and he's supposed to be badass. But we never got to see him fight. Not even in the spinoff manga, we never got to see him fight. So I don't know. I just feel like it's a lot of questions left in the air when it comes to Kaiju number 8, and I'm just afraid they don't have enough time to finish it. I'm just afraid about that. And I know I kind of was all over the place in this video. I do apologize. It's just my mind was racing, man. My mind was racing. But let me know what things you want to see in these next 2 chapters before it ends, man. Let me know, man. I'm just curious to hear y'all thoughts. Hopefully you like this. Make sure you thumb it up and subscribe. I'll catch you in the next one, man. Peace.